Well, the Christmas tree's gone. It's okay. Everything's okay. Like, I get used, I'm like, I don't want the Christmas tree to go away. And then the Christmas tree's gone. I'm like, what Christmas tree? I don't know. Do we have a Christmas tree? I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I think the problem comes with these slate gray skies caused by the largest body of fresh water in the world, the Great Lakes, specifically Lake Erie, lake effect. I hear down in Columbus, 2 hours away, 2 hours south, it's consistently much more sunny. Isn't that ironic? That, like, life-giving water also makes you depressed as hell. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you know what? So far, so good. It's, what is it today? January 12th? Feeling good. Feeling good. I went to a performance last night by a young man named Kofi Boache. Kofi Boache. I want you to know that name, Akron. I want everybody to know that name. Kofi Boache. I'm going to put it down, a link in somewhere. Probably in the places wherever this goes. I'm going to put the link. There's a video called Kofi Boache Made in Akron. And Kofi Boache is a young man, African-American man, who grew up on the north side of Akron and grew up very poor. He'll profess. Was homeless for a time. And this guy has a way with a keyboard that will transport you to another universe. He was having a fundraiser last night because he is going to school in Boston, Berklee School of Music, I believe it's called, in Boston. It's a $70,000 a year school, and he has a scholarship for half of it, but he has to pay for the other half. And he packed, I tell you, this bar last night, the Spotted Owl on Maple Street. Have you been there? Really nice place. I don't get out to bars much, considering I'm not a drinker. But it's kind of a downside to not drinking is I really do believe it took a real big toll on my social life, not drinking. I just rather sit at home and watch Netflix or something. It's weird, right? I definitely will never drink again. Drinking is my soulmate from hell. My soulmate from hell. I've actually, this Christmas season, really compelled to drink again after 16 years. I don't feel that way right now. But during the Christmas season, I was ready. I was ready to get back in the scene. I was ready. So Kofi made it out. There's Clarabelle. You want to come over, Clarabelle? Come on. Come on, you can come over. Come on. You can come too. No. Oh boy. Okay, here's... Alright, there's Clarabelle. People say they love you, Clarabelle. There. They say you should run for office. Yes, they do say that. They say it, Clarabelle. I'm going to see what good offices might be available for you. See what we could run for. City council, county council, school board. I don't know. There's so many things you could run for, Clarabelle. I'm going to go find out and see what you would do. I imagine your positive, loving spirit would be only a benefit to the city of Akron or the county of Summit. We could use more Clarabelle love in our lives. Yes, we could. So maybe you'll run for something. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, I was telling a story about Kofi Boache. You want to listen? Okay, good. So, Um, he made it out. Now he's in Boston at this really amazing school. This guy is as smooth as glass. He is, he's got it. He's got it. You know, I've had the opportunity to see people that have got it, and this guy's got it. I know some very successful musicians, and I'm telling you what, this guy is the real deal. Kofi Boakye. It's Boakye. Boakye. Just learn how to say it. The K-Y-E is Che. Che. Right? Boakye. Mark my words. This guy is going to go big. Big. He's already been Emmy nominated. There's something about Akron and music. We see it a lot. Right? So, Devo, our whole punk scene, a lot of people say that, you know, they're like, well, punk happened over at, in New York at, what is that? Dive bar. Oh, I hate it when the words leave my brain. What is that called? Skeebie-jeebies? Skeebie-jeebies. Yeah, Skeebie-jeebies. The place in Skeebie-jeebies? You know it. It's like that. It sounds like that. Skeebie-jeebies, BB-jeebies, Leebie-jeebies, something jeebies. Anyways, they say that's where the punk scene started. No, it was already going on over here on the east side of Akron. And then big time it moved to the Bank, a bar downtown called the Bank. We were the start of punk. We were punk. Look, we're burgers and we're punk. And we're AA. And other things I can't even remember. We are a lot of things, and we have to celebrate them other than just the industrialists that sold rubber tires. And no dissing them. Okay, look, I went to the Cyberling Mansion this Christmas to see the lights. Amazing. What is that? Is that Cyberling? What is that? You know what I'm talking about. I went down to the big house down there on Portage, you know. I can't remember any words. Makes my podcasting a little rough around the edges. But I have Clarabelle, so you can just look at her. Just look at Clarabelle, yeah. So, Stan Hewitt. God, how hard is it to come up with the word Stan Hewitt at all? I went to the house. It's amazing. It's amazing, Clarabelle. I'm sorry you didn't get to go. I'm sorry. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's beautiful. They spend so much time putting up all these lovely lights. It was a wonderful season to go see the lights because it wasn't too cold. And all the props in the world to multimillionaire industrialists. You go, people. You go. But let's not forget Chrissy Hine. Let's not forget the Black Keys. Let's not forget Devo. And now let's remember Kofi Boakye. Kofi Boakye. He is a jazz pianist, and this guy is badass. Badass. I'm telling you, he has it. Kofi Boakye is the future. That guy, woo! You just remember that name, is all I'm telling you, Akron. Remember that name. But how did it happen? How did it happen? How did Kofi get out of the system? He said on his performance last night in third grade, he was either thinking about playing the piano or joining a gang. Literally. Those were his two choices. In third grade, playing the piano, joining a gang. Okay? How did he choose the piano? I'm going to tell you how he chose the piano. His piano teacher, some sweet little white lady, he came over to one of her group piano things. He was 8 or 9. And he saw all these kids playing the piano, age 5. And they were playing Mozart and Beethoven, and he's like, and I'm out. These kids were good, he said. They were good. And he had just started. And the story goes, a assistant teacher pulled him aside and said, hey, the main teacher wants to talk to you. And she comes over and says, I see something in you. I see something in you. Some just crazy, sweet piano lady running piano classes. An inner city African American young boy comes in already behind the 8 ball because he's 8 or 9 and her other students are 5 and 6. And she says, I see something in you. And bam, that's what he said. He said, if that conversation did not happen, I don't know where I'd be. And he said, I know one thing, I would not be here today. I would not be on this stage today if that conversation did not happen. And she took him under her wing. She didn't do group classes, she did private lessons with him. And then on the backside, and his mom was there last night, wonderful, wonderful woman, you could just tell, filled with love and belief in her son, made sure he got to those lessons. He got to the lessons. He got to the lessons. And last night, he filled a bar, packed, couldn't even find a parking space, for a benefit to help him pay for his college. Now, I'm not pretending to be in any way behind the 8 ball like Kofi was, because I'm me and I've never been homeless, but I have had my utilities turned off more than once. And after my dad left, my mom sold printing from Minuteman Press in her own car for minimum wage, which was, I think, about $3 an hour, $3.15, I think. And that's how I lived. Like that. From 7 to 18. Okay? And I ran with some pretty hardcore kids. One of those kids is spending life in prison right now. Literally, I lived, it was Medina. My dad moved us to Medina. And then, so I went to Medina schools, which was really great. But literally, it was on the other side of the tracks. By the fairgrounds on Smith Road, 510 West Smith. 510 West Smith. Still there. You can actually still see the posts on the front porch. My mom stripped them. There was a point in her life where she got into stripping woodwork, and we had to strip all the woodwork in that house. All of it. I'm telling you. I stripped stairs. I stripped all the floors on the second floor, in the bedrooms, on the first floor. If I have mesothelioma because I breathed asbestos, I know exactly where it came from. Stripping all those nasty floors. We pulled up all that gross carpet and all that gross and with the rollers. My mom stripped any piece of wood she possibly could. And I don't know. It looked nice. But what I can tell you is the posts on the front porch, the posts that hold up the porch, She stripped those, and it made it just kind of stand out in a nice way. She didn't strip any of the other parts. She probably would have. I don't know. But she didn't. But they're still like that when you drive by towards the fair. If you ever go to the Medina County Fair and you drive down Smith, if you go to the Smith entrance of the Medina County Fair, 510 West Smith, it's a white house on the left-hand side. You'll see her post that she stripped. In fourth grade, I think Kofi's story happened in third grade. In fourth grade, a man walked into our elementary class. His name was Keith Holliday. And he did a listening test. And I think like the listening test was he would play something on his violin, he'd play a note, and then he'd play another note, and you'd be like, does it go up or down? And we got a note in the mail that said, your student is ideally suited for music. That guy, Keith Holliday, took an interest in me. Okay? I was just a kid that ran the streets, could do whatever I want. My mom loved me, but she was a pretty hands-off mom. Okay? I pretty much did whatever I want, whenever I wanted. I ran the streets, skateboarding, bicycling. It was great, actually. I highly recommend it. It was wonderful. I mean, wonderful is... I'll talk about my childhood some other time. He took an interest in me. And I got into the cello. I played the cello, and I went through that. And then I got a teacher, Greg Fioca. I went every week from Medina to Hudson. My lessons took place in the campus of Western Reserve. You know? Do you know that? Western Reserve? It's a fancy boarding school in Hudson. $40 a week. My mom made sure I was at that lesson every week and paid that $40 every week. Got a full ride. I went to Baldwin Wallace. Now, so there's the thing. So that's why Kofi is going to be better than me. I just took the full ride, which he could have gotten anywhere. I never really wanted to be a musician. That was never my thing. We all agreed that music was just going to get me through college, so I just took the free ride at Baldwin Wallace, which is a fine school. And I met my wife and my best friend Jamie. It was wonderful. I don't know why I ever left college. That was the stupidest move in my life, ever leaving college. You should never leave college, people. Just go and get all the degrees and then just sneak your way in and get a job in there. Never leave. Never leave college. It's, oh my God, best place on earth. I recommend it to anybody. So Kofi he's going to his dream school, and that's why he's grinding out these fundraisers and raising money, because he wants to be a musician. And this guy is a musician. This guy is a musician, man. People took an interest in me. Anonymous people would buy me things regularly. My grandfather bought me a $15,000 cello. Just bought it for me. $15,000 cello. I had somebody pay for a flight out to the Music Academy of the West in Santa Barbara. I don't even know who it was. I don't even know. I don't know. It was from a church I went to, anonymous donor. Paid for the flight. People took an interest in me. People took an interest in me. And that is how change happens. People take an interest in someone. As an Akronite, you should be required to know the story of LeBron James. He was absent 100 days in third or fourth grade. I can't remember now. I don't know why I don't remember. Third or fourth grade. I think it's fourth grade. You know why he was absent? Because he was homeless. He was bouncing around from house to house to house to house to house. Because he was homeless. 100 days. You know how he is LeBron James? Somebody took an interest in him. Coaches found him. One coach moved him into the mom and him into a house. Then later on in high school, another coach moved just him into his house. Somebody took an interest in him. And now he's LeBron James. That seems to be the recurring theme. You take an interest in someone. Change happens one at a time. You cannot change a group of people. You cannot change the homeless. If you think that homelessness is just the lack of a house, now it is for somebody. I mean, if you can't afford a house and you're in San Francisco or San Diego or LA, okay, there is a group of population that just can't afford to live there. Like they have a job, everything's okay. They're living in their RV or their car. They just can't afford it. Okay, that for sure is a kind of homeless person. There's not one kind of homeless person. And chronic should not be the defining factor. How long you've been homeless, that can change who you are, but there are types of homeless people. Like for example, the retired, I have a group that I've been thinking about called the retired criminal. Many retired criminals become homeless. And they are not like the other homeless people that became homeless because of being beaten physically and mentally by their parents their entire childhood, having severe mental health issues. Retired criminals, it's hard to transition out of being a thief or a drug dealer into like traditional work. It's just hard. They're a different kind of homeless person. There's all kinds of homeless people, okay? There's the homeless people that are caused by trauma. There's homeless people that are caused by a catastrophic loss of family. There's, these retired criminals. There's people that just can't afford houses in their neighborhood. That's why you can't solve homelessness. You can't solve it because it's not a thing. All right? It's not a thing. You have to find one homeless person and treat one homeless person. That's it. That's all it is. But here's the good news. There's about 500,000 homeless people, okay? Let's say there's 1 million. Let's just say that. Let's say that there's 1 million homeless people, like hardcore homeless. And I'm not talking couch surfers, which would put you at 10% of the population, in my opinion. People that are like staying on friends' couches, moving around. I believe that's at 10%. It's 10% of our kids in school. We know that. There's 20,000 kids in the Akron public schools, and about 2,000 of them are homeless. Meaning they're like doubled up, they're moving from house to house. So why wouldn't it transfer if there's 10,000 homeless kids that are bouncing around from house to house all around their city? Why wouldn't it translate that there are 10% of families doing the same thing? Which then the numbers skyrocket. There's, say, 190,000 Akronites. That means 19,000 homeless people, okay? 350 million Americans, 3.5 million homeless. Okay, we're not going to talk about those numbers. Just forget I even mentioned those catastrophic, horrid, but probably true numbers. We're just going to talk about the serious people, the stereotypical, I'm living under a bridge, in a shelter, in a tent, In a broken down car, homeless people. 500,000. When they do the point in time count, it comes in right around 500,000 something. But the point in time count is a big total lie. So let's just double it. Let's double it. 1 million homeless people in America. 1 million homeless people versus 349 million other people. Let's just classify. Let's take 50 million that are destitute there or something. 50 million people that can't work. Let's take another, 100 million that are kids, can't help. So let's subtract 150 million, okay, out of the 350 million. That leaves 200 million people. 200 million people to care for 1 million people. It's 200 to 1. Are you telling me there aren't 200 people, out of 200 people, not one of them has some interest in working with a homeless person in their neighborhood? Out of 200 people, one person might be like, yeah, I'll try that. I'll meet him at the church. I'll maybe have dinner with him at the free dinner. I mean, I like free dinner, huh, Clarabelle? Who doesn't like free dinner? Why don't you go down and meet him at the church dinner? You know, I'm not saying take him to your house. No. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying take an interest in them. Do you know how long you can walk the streets of any city as a homeless person and never be looked at by a non-homeless person, much less spoken to? Forever. People look down, look away, cross the street, ignore you. Can you believe people ignoring people, Clarabelle? Oh, that's so sad. So sad. Let's just say there are 200 million eligible Americans that would be willing to take an interest in 1 million seriously homeless people. Let me ask you a theoretical, hypothetical, rhetorical question. Do you think it would help? Do you think it would help? Help Kofi Boache, help LeBron James, and it helped Sage Lewis. Yeah, somebody took an interest in us. The reason they took an interest in us is because we showed promise. It's easy. A Kofi Boache, a LeBron James, who's not going to take an interest in them? Okay, I was not on a Kofi Boache level. I think some people thought I was, but they didn't know. You don't see a lot of great musicians in a town like Medina. Every once in a while you do. So, somebody above average comes along, you're like, oh my God, he's so good. That's right, Clarabelle. Really, but it was enough for people to take an interest. So I guess the question is, are we big enough to take an interest in somebody that doesn't show anything special? Heard a parent once say, never mind. Let me say it this way. There are parents that don't believe their kids are special. And I'm not even talking about parents that literally abuse their kids, like beat them and mentally and physically, just mentally browbeat them their entire, like, I know homeless people that consider themselves the black sheep of the family. The black sheep, Clarabelle. The cow dog of the family. Can you imagine? Oh, that would be so sad. You're the cow dog of our family. Yeah. I know, honey. I know. I love you too. So, yeah, you got those parents that are just totally terrible, terrible, terrible humans. And then you have parents that don't think much of their kids at all. They're just like, just a kid. If you don't take an interest in a kid, you don't find something that's special about them, what do you think's going to happen? I mean, the likelihood of them doing self-harming behavior is, I would imagine, significant. And I don't think you're going to change the parents. I don't think you're going to change the parents. I don't think you can guilt the parents into it. The parents are who they are. And we have to point out what is special about kids, adults, homeless people, drug addicts, everybody. There's an interesting thing about humans. We have to be part of a community. We'll die without it. But we have to feel special. We do. I get how people make fun of that. You're like, oh, he got a E for effort, or he got a medal for showing up. Look, I didn't invent the human psyche. Wasn't my idea to create us like this. We're a mess. We're a total wreck. We're a holy cow. Holy cow. Being a human being is like, what is it? It's like being a polar bear with a conscience. I don't know why I eat my baby. I don't know why I do it. Leave me alone. I don't know. Do polar bears do that? I know that regular bears do. Like black bears and brown bears, they eat the young. I don't know what polar bears do. I don't know why. I just saw him there. He looked tasty. I'm sorry. I ate him, okay? That's literally what a human is. Literally. We do terrible things and we're like, oh my God, that was terrible. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Because you're a human, okay? I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying we're going to allow that. I'm not saying you don't have to go to jail or whatever. Just for our own protection. Just so we don't have to be worried about your crazy ass eating us. Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay? Look, Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know why you ate gay men. I don't know why you did it. Also an Akronite. Is it too early to start a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop? Why can't we be the town of Jeffrey Dahmer? Look, you know where I went this summer? Salem, Massachusetts. You know what their claim to fame is? Hanging like a dozen women for pretending they thought they were witches. That's all Salem, Massachusetts is. If they can make money off of their embarrassment, why can't we make money off of Jeffrey Dahmer? That's all I'm saying. I don't know why we don't have a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. I don't know why. Not angry at Jeffrey. Probably because he didn't eat me or my kid or anybody I know. Jeffrey clearly had a problem. There was something crazy going on in Jeffrey's head. And I think he got killed in jail, which is unfortunate. I mean, or maybe best for everybody. I don't know. I don't know. Jeffrey Dahmer had a problem, okay? Look, if you can look at a black bear that just ate its baby and not be angry at it, how can you look at Jeffrey Dahmer who just ate a gay young man and be angry at him? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Look. Did you know, my wife just told me that Baba Ram Dass died. might not know these things. Do you know who Baba Ram Dass is? Friend of Timothy Leary. Highly educated. I don't know if he was a professor. Hold on. I'll find out. Google knows. Google knows. Hold on. Come on. 1 second. Was Baba Ram Dass a professor at Harvard? Let's see. Baba Ram Dass, April 6, 1931 to December 22nd, 2019, also known as Baba Ram Dass, just Ram Dass, whatever. American spiritual teacher, psychologist, and author. Ram Dass was personally and professionally associated with Timothy Leary at the Harvard University. Well, that's not really what I asked for, Google. Come on, Google. Hold on. I don't know why I care to let you know. Okay. Yeah, Harvard professorship. He moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts to teach at Harvard University and help Albert accept a tenure-back position there. Yeah. Professor at Harvard with Timothy Leary. You know, the LSD, lysergic acid guys. So here's the thing. They were friends, Timothy Leary and McClellan. I should know his regular name. Ram Dass. Born Richard Albert. Richard Albert. That's a stupid name. Just call him Ram Dass. They were friends. He conducted research with Leary on the therapeutic effects of psychedelic drugs. In addition, Albert assisted Harvard Divinity School graduate student Walter Pank in his 1962 Good Friday experiment with theology students, the first controlled double-blind study of drugs and the mystical experience. While not illegal at the time, this research was controversial and led to Leary and Albert's dismissal from Harvard in 1963. Anyways, Ram Dass and Timothy Leary had a falling out because Timothy Leary was very scientific and Richard Albert, a.k.a. Baba Ram Dass, became very spiritual, and Timothy Leary was very upset about that. And so they had a big falling out, and I think they kind of made amends later in life. Rocky read me a quote of Ram Dass this morning, and the summary of it is, when you walk into a woods and you see a bunch of trees, there's all kinds of trees. Some are straight, some have leaves, some are spruces, some are... You're not walking around judging the trees, okay? You're just like, trees. There's trees. And probably you look at them and you're like, wow, that's a nice tree. Wow, not a nice tree. Oh, that's a nice tree. Oh, that tree fell down and died. Oh, well. You don't feel bad for the tree. You don't judge the trees. You don't judge them. You don't judge the trees. They're just trees. You walk into a mall of people, you're judging every single one of those motherfuckers. Every single one. Doesn't she think she's all that? Oh, I wonder how much she paid for that skirt. Oh, man, look at that fancy bag. Oh, man, that person, they dressed like that? They came out in public like that? Boy. Ooh, she's with him. Oh, he's with her. Oh, man. We do it all the time. It's like in our DNA to judge humans. It's like our favorite pastime. We don't judge a black bear for eating its young. We don't judge a tree for being crooked. But we look at somebody that, does meth and we're like, woo, loser. We judge. We judge people for anything. No matter whether they were in control of their actions or feelings or not. You know? We judge them all. We're judging people all the time. You're judging me right now. He just swore. I can't believe he just swore. Oh my God, now I can't even think. I can't even listen to what he said. He just swore those bad words. We have an incredibly difficult time just looking at humans. And just being like, oh, there's a human. There's a human. Oh, look, there's a human. Much less being like, oh, there I can find the beauty in that human. Can you find the beauty in Jeffrey Dahmer? I think when I open the gift shop, you will. I'm going to be rich. I mean, do you think somebody owns the rights on his name? His parents? I'm not saying I will open a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop, but I'm not saying I won't. I'll talk to my wife about it. She always straightens me out when I think I have a great idea. She's like, oh, honey. Oh, boy. Anyways, I have just the spot for a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. I mean, do you know I am the king of getting the press's attention. This is a multi-million-dollar... I bet you I have an easier time getting, like, the New York Times to my Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop than we did trying to get them into our, like, tent village. Oh, I don't know what I'll sell at my Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. Anyways, now I've lost track. I hope you're happy with yourself, causing me to think about a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. Look, I think it's safe to say Jeffrey Dahmer was crazy. I know that's probably not a politically, or, you know, a phrase we're supposed to use, but let's just say it for Jeffrey Dahmer. That guy was bonkers. Out of his mind cuckoo. Okay? I don't know of anybody that in their right mind like to troll gay bars to find gay men and eat them. I just don't think that's rational. So we don't need to hate Jeffrey Dahmer. He was a troubled human. Okay? Can we all agree? Can I get an amen? Jeffrey Dahmer was a troubled human. I could use my Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop as a way to raise awareness about mental health issues. See? Well, I get rich off of Jeffrey Dahmer merch. God. Don't you steal my Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, please do. I won't start it. I don't have time to start a Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. Maybe I do, though. I don't know. Look, if Salem, Massachusetts can have witchcraft crap, I can have, like, gay, what is that when you eat people? You know, that. Why can't I remember words? God, this is really hurting my whole podcasting career. Never mind. What would have happened if somebody took an interest in Jeffrey Dahmer? Would you become Jeffrey Dahmer? Did people take an interest in Jeffrey Dahmer? Look, if you can get so far in your life that you're trolling gay bars, picking up gay men, and eating them, somebody isn't paying a lot of attention to you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Cannibal. Gay cannibal merch. That's what I think. The gay cannibals. Don't you think? I don't know a lot about Jeffrey Dahmer. Before I open my gift store, I'm going to really study him. Okay? And ask my wife if this is a good idea. I can't think of anything else now other than starting my Jeffrey Dahmer gift shop. Oh, God. This is the problem with me. Take an interest in people. Okay? And I see people doing it. I see people sitting... There's probably people sitting at one of our transitional houses right now. They come in from the suburbs. I know a woman that comes from Cleveland and hangs out at our house to visit. A lot of people think that they want to be transactional with the homeless. Like, what can I do to help? And there's things like gloves. And I put out a call for gloves. I showed a guy's hands that were frostbitten, and we got so many gloves. You guys are so incredible. So incredible. They want to help. They want to help. How can I help? Can I make a meal? Can I buy something? Can I send money? Yes. You can do all that. And I love that. But you want to know the truth? Hanging out with homeless people, probably the most powerful thing you can do. Now, you might bring a pack of cigarettes and some donuts. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Or bus passes, or gloves, or hats. But when you just bring gloves, and I'm not belittling or chastising anybody that does this. This is fine. It's 100% fine. But what I'm getting at is this. When it's just gloves without love, it's not the same. When it's love without the gloves, it's transformational. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, let me start again. Ooh, I'm just inventing. I'm going to say, gloves without love is transactional. Love without gloves is transformational. There's a quote. There's a quote. Gloves without love is transactional. Love without gloves is transformational. The love is transformational. It changes your life. It changes your trajectory. Kofi Boache said on the stage, as his teacher was right there, said, I don't know where I would be today if it was not for her. But I know one thing, I would not be sitting here. And he said in third grade, it was either the piano or it was a gang. How likely is it a kid from the north side of Akron, dirt poor, homeless occasionally, statistically, he doesn't get out of poverty. He doesn't get out of poverty. Let me ask Google that. How many African Americans get out of poverty? Okay, here's USA Today, December 2018. What racial social groups are more likely to experience it? Estimates that 13% of Americans, about 42 million, live below the poverty line in 2017. Poverty is far from evenly distributed across the United States. Depends on the person's race, gender, occupation, social status. So, let's see here if I can find. This isn't quite what I wanted. And there's a bunch of ads. I'm going to watch a truck ad in a minute. The Inheritance of Black Poverty, Brookings.edu. It's all about men. Black Americans born poor are much less likely to move up the income ladder than those in other racial groups, especially whites. Why? Many factors are at work, including educational inequalities, neighborhood effects, workplace discrimination, parenting, access to credit, rates of incarceration, and so on. Black men are much less likely to be able to transcend out of poverty. Okay? So statistically, it wasn't looking good for Kofi Boache. I mean, he does have a wonderful name, which is helpful, and he's the smoothest guy I've seen in a long time. Ooh-wee, that guy was smooth. But he could have been a smooth drug dealer. Could have been smooth in prison. But he's not. He's Kofi Boache raising money to go to Berklee School of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. And he brought his girlfriend from Berklee. Most amazing. She was amazing. Amazing. So his life is now on a crazy path. A crazy path. And it all clearly went back to that one day where the path went this way. It went sideways in a good way. We have to take an interest in people. Kids, adults, addicts, Find a person and take an interest in them. I don't care who. Take an interest in your kid. Take an interest in your parents. Take an interest in somebody at your church. Find someone and take an interest in them. Just pick them. Random. We all need it. There is so much go it alone bullshit in Akron, in America, that no one's taking interest in anyone. Okay? It's rare. You have to be LeBron James or Kofi Boache to get somebody to have an interest in you. We don't do that. We're just all like hunkered down, head down, just going out and, everybody for themselves kind of mentality. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Find someone and take an interest in them. Anybody. And just say God chose that person. When you're like, when somebody says, why'd you pick that person? Be like, God chose him for me. Just say that. I don't know why you chose that person. Doesn't matter. It's better to just go with your instincts on it. Don't overthink it. Just find somebody and, take an interest in them. All right, everybody. I have a lot more to say, but not on this topic. I love you. You're amazing. You're incredible. And I'm so thankful to know you and to be on this journey with you. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.